All right, guys, welcome back to the studio here. You got Tom and me. We're going over UFC Vegas 64. We got women's strawweight, Marina versus Lemos. First, let's say thank you to our sponsor, Tampa Bless, Home Team Do Good, TampaBless.com for more information about that. Let's get right into it here, though. Marina Rodriguez, ranked number 3, minus 210 favorite. She's 35 years old, 16-1-2, and she last beat Yan Xiaonan, Mackenzie Dern, the Karate Hottie, and her only loss is a split decision to Carla Esparza. That was a boring fight. Don't go back and watch it, please. You won't want to. But she's going up against Amanda Lemos, ranked number 7, plus 180 underdog, 12-2-1. She's also 35 years old, and she last beat the Karate Hottie, and she lost to Jessica Andrade before that, where Andrade made history with the first standing female arm in triangle choke or whatever. Unbelievable, that fight. Andrade still has it, that's for sure. She just has a couple stumbles, but that's besides the point. Tom, Marina, that's my girl. I think this girl is a stud. What do you think's going to happen here?
Yeah, they're making her go through the gauntlet to get a title shot, that's for sure, because she already did deserve one. Anyhow, this is a great matchup here. Both these fighters are tough. Like you said, Marina only lost once, and it's the current champ. It was a split decision. She's got 4 wins in a row. She's also been to 5 rounds twice. Lemos has never seen 4 or 5 rounds. So that's definitely an advantage going to Rodriguez over there. Lemos won 6 out of her last 7 fights, and of the 6 wins, 4 out of the 6 were finishes. So she's definitely hedges towards being a finisher. So you got to watch out for that. I thought the Karate Hottie was doing really well, and all of a sudden, snap, she was in a bad position. It was over.
Yeah, that guillotine choke was nasty.
Yeah, that happened like out of nowhere, because I thought, it was just a quick slip of being mentally just locked in by the Karate Hottie, and she got caught because she was looking good, but that doesn't matter. As soon as you get caught in the right lock, you're in trouble. I'm leaning towards Rodriguez here by decision, but I would really like to see, possibly a late round finish, man. But, she's also got to be wary of the finishing potential of Amanda Lemos on the other side. So, it's not like Lemos could sub you. She could beat you by strikes, but she's not as likely to pull you down to the ground and roll around like, Mackenzie Dern. But right. She could tag you while standing as well. So you got to be careful. But I think Rodriguez is kind of built for that. We'll see, man. We'll see. Last week was kind of a shipwreck. We had a couple tough calls. Qatar fell off. We had Jacoby, I thought, got the raw end of the deal. And then we had some upsets, at least based on the picks that I made. But then we had some cuts this week, too, worth noting. One was, it wasn't really even a cut. He pulled himself out. Was Askar Askarov. Right. He's pulled himself out of the UFC, which is nuts. And then Nick Maximov got cut, the Nick Diaz Academy guy. So, the UFC doesn't play, man.
There's some good memes.
It's definitely a business.
There's some good memes about Nick Maximov, the only one who could beat Hamzat. They had to get rid of him and stuff like that. There's some good memes on him already, though.
Yeah, I feel bad because he kind of took an injury. I thought maybe one more try, but hey, it is what it is. I think he still do well in another promotion. He is so young. I don't think he's 25
yet. He can always
yet.
circle back if he keeps winning.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyways, I'm going Rodriguez here. Probably decision, and hopefully starts to pick up as the rounds get into later rounds. But maybe you can get a finish in there in rounds 4 or 5. Yeah. We'll see. But I'm going with Marina.
Yeah, I agree. 5 rounds here really favors Marina. She's battle tested. I mean, she wrestled the full 3 rounds with the current champ. She beat Dern, and she was on the ground with Dern. So her. I'm not saying she has high-level BJJ, but she has high-level defense if Dern can't get it done down there. Lemos has super high power. I just don't think she's got enough to really go out there and sleep Marina. Marina's got a pretty damn good chin. We've seen her. I think she comes in with the better game plan. Crisper striking, much better gas tank. Lemos seems to fade away in a lot of the third round. She doesn't look the same. You can tell each round takes a little from her. Marina goes the whole fight, start to finish, every single time. She is, she's champ tested. She's ready for that title shot, I think. I see the win here for Marina. I think she should get a title shot after this. I think she's getting older, and I think her time is closing in where she needs to get the title shot, not make her fight Rose or somebody else. Jump her up, let her get the shot. She's beating everybody. No losses except for Carla, and it was a split. So let's get that going. Card market here. I think Marina is a hold. We actually have to see her get the title shot. We have to see if the UFC actually does it. Like I said, are they going to make her try to fight like the number 2 or number 1 instead of just and jump someone else around her? Feels like with that's what they keep doing to her. I don't know, so I worry about that. I got a hold on her. I have a bunch of Marina cards. Listen, I like her. Just don't know if she's going to be able to keep going at this pace at her age in this small weight class like this. So hold right now. If she gets a title shot, though, I'm changing my opinion. Lemos bursted on the scene. A lot of nice finishes, but so until we see her actually be inside the top 5, she's not even printed. But you know, she'd be a sell for me. Get her while the hype's good. She doesn't have any high-level wins like Marina does. Karate Hottie's not the same girl she used to be. We saw what Jessica did to her. Sell rating when she gets printed. All right, moving right on. We got welterweights. My man, Neil Magny, ranked number 13, minus 115 right now. He's 35 years old. He's 26-9, and his last fight was that loss to Shavkat Romanov, and he beat Max Griffin and Jeff Neal before that. He's going up against Daniel Rodriguez, ranked number 14, minus 105 favorite. He's 17-2, and he's 35 years old, and he's on a 4-fight winning streak, last beating Jinglang Jang. Everybody thought that was a loss, though. That was a really close one there. He beat Kevin Lee, Preston Parsons, and Mike Perry. A bunch of those guys are not with the promotion anymore, I can tell you that. Kevin Lee's out, Eagle at UFC. Mike Perry's in bare knuckle boxing. Everybody loves Lee, but you know, tough break there. Tom, this is tough. These guys are both aging. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, you know, Daniel has the advantage of having about half the number of fights of Neil, so he's not as battle worn as Neil at 35. So that's one, you know, check mark on the Rodriguez side, the D-Rod side. You know, Neil's got a 6-inch reach advantage here, but I don't know if Neil's going to really want to stay and trade with him like that. I don't know if that should be the game plan. I think, you know, work your way in and look to grapple with him and kind of do the Neil Magny is really what you're going to need to do.
We gave it to him. He's got his own technique. You know? The Neil Magny, baby.
That's right. You know, he needs to avoid getting slept or subbed by Daniel. Daniel is well-rounded. He could do either one to you. He could, you know, put you out or he could sub you out. You know, but all that said, you know, I'm leaning toward Neil here by decision, man. But I could see him getting finished too. You know, I could easily see that happening too, man. But I'm going to roll with Neil here by decision.
I love the pick. I love Neil. Rewatching these fights, this thing is super hard. But I think D-Rod is the correct pick. Just because I think Magny is starting to get a little older and the damage is starting to add up for him. His big advantage was he would do the Neil Magny. He'd get in the clinch, hold you in the clinch for a long time, normally work his way to get you to the ground, and just smother you. Maybe get some good elbows in there. Not even that he would finish you. He would just smother you and steal the round, win the round. And then he would have a lot of finishes. I just think D-Rod's so big. He's strong. He looks the best he's ever looked. Like, he's in his prime now where Neil's... I know they're the same age, but D-Rod seems to be coming right into his prime, and Neil's kind of seems to be falling just out of his prime. And I think defensively, Daniel being bigger and stronger, Neil won't be able to do that Magny move that he does, just blanket him, get him up against the cage. I think D-Rod's going to be a little stronger. As we mentioned, he's just not as worn out as Neil Magny, and I like Neil. That's why we like him. He's a warrior. He brings it every time. You don't go in there and just punish Neil. Neil's amazing. All right, Shavkat, give him a pass. Shavkat is the real deal, no question about it.
No pass though. That told you where Shavkat's at.
Listen, Shavkat's real. I'm excited to see what Shavkat holds in the future.
Yeah.
We all are. Anyone who's a UFC fan is ready to see Shavkat. No question about it. But I got D-Rod by decision. I don't love it because I'm going to be rooting for Neil. I like D-Rod too. I like both these guys, really.
I like D-Rod too, man. I like both these guys.
I'll probably be rooting for Neil. Neil's just one of the first guys I really went to go see. I got a lot of stories about his fans in the base and everything like that. He's a wild man. Served for the country and all that. I root for him. But I got D-Rod by decision. I think he's just a little less battle worn than Neil is.
I kind of feel like this is important for both of them, though, because Neil could kind of shift now into 2 losses in a row. Really wouldn't be considered at the same standing that he used to be, as much as, someone that's
Yeah, absolutely.
really right at the top. And then you got D-Rod, who's looking to really enter into that top 10 battles.
Yeah, totally. No, Neil Magny's going to probably be a top 15 gatekeeper, and it's sad to say because he's given us so many good fights. Now, as far as the card market goes, I don't think either of these men are true buys in the card world just based on their age and not having these championships runs earlier on. And I don't know if we're going to see them happen now. So, I mean, Neil had a good run, but he just was a couple short every time. If you take a look, he'd 5 wins in a row, big fight, he would lose. Another 4 wins in a row, big fight, lose. I just can't get behind that as far as an investment standpoint in the card market. But, all right, moving on. We got flyweights. Tagir Ulanbekov, ranked 15, minus 210 favorite, 31 years old. He's 13-2, and his last fight was a loss to Tim Elliott. He's going up against Nate Maness, plus 180 underdog, 31 years old, 14-2, and his last fight was a loss to Umar Nurmagomedov, and that's another guy. Umar is the real deal. He's a better Khabib, realistically, as it sits right now. Umar is real, so I'm going to give Nate a little bit of a pass on that last one, but this is going to be another really good, really close fight here. Tom, does Tagir got the combat sambo to get Nate down to the ground and beat him up, or what do you think's happening here?
Yeah, man, Tagir's, the big sambo guy, and they're both 31, so there's no age difference here. That's been the case on this card. The ages have been fairly close. Rodriguez and Amanda, 35-35. Neil and D-Rod, 35-35. Tagir and Nathan, 31-31. The next one we cover, though, will be a 10-year gap between them. But this one, same age, 31. Tagir has never been finished. I would like to see Nate possibly finish him by strikes round 2. I mean, Tim Elliott had the fight of his life in that last fight. I thought that was probably his best he's ever looked, Tim, to beat Tagir. A very close fight, man. But Tim definitely got the nod. I remember watching that and being very excited for him because he looked so good in that fight. It was a
Tim
tough
looks
fight.
better than ever
Tagir's,
in the Kraus camp. He's never looked as good. Since he
yeah.
moved over, he looked so much better. He honestly might have moved way up if they didn't make that one crucial mistake in telling him they thought he was in the lead going up against Nicolau. And he sat down, like the third round, he kind of sat down and he wound up losing 2-1 when he probably could have stole that fight away and been
right. He could have tried to get off his back.
Yeah, he just laid there like he already won.
It
was horrible. He wasn't even trying at that point. He's like, I won, lay it down. That was the only mistake I've seen. Otherwise, the Kraus camp, he looks so much better. He looks so much more alive. I totally agree with you.
Oh yeah, Tim. Yeah, mad heart. But I'd like to see Nate give, Tagir his first loss by being finished. Round 2 strikes or decision. I'm going with the underdog here, Nathan Maness.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I got the underdog here. I think we got a live one, boys. I think Umar's just so far ahead that the bookies are now just kind of shitting on Maness. And they're putting him as a 2-1 underdog like Tagir's the same dude. He's not. I think Tagir's talented, but he hasn't looked overly impressive. I think he hasn't looked great on his feet. I think Maness does enough to finish Tagir. And I think it's going to be almost exactly like you said. I think they're going to battle in the first round. Tagir's going to have a lot of energy, try to get him down. I think Maness can probably hold him back. He's got way better hands. Maness is a finisher, man. Take a look at this guy's record. This guy is a real deal, too. And I'd like to plus money on this one. Plus 180 on Maness. I think he gets it done here. I think he knocks Tagir off that shelf right now. All right, and then as far as the card market goes, guys, we can reevaluate them when they're printed. Neither one of these guys is printed. All right, moving on. This might be the number 1 prospect on the card right here. Potentially here. We got lightweights. Grant Dawson, minus 215. He's 28 years old. He's 18-1-1. Last 10 fights, 9 wins and 1 draw. And he last beat Jared Gordon. He's going up against Mark Madsen, plus 185 underdog. 38 years old. Big gap difference there, as you mentioned. He's 12-0, unbeaten in the UFC, and he last beat Vince Pichel, who's a tough SOB, and Clay Guida,
Yeah, I like Vince a
And Clay
lot.
Guida, who's also showed that he
Very
was
tough.
still live, man. When he honestly, his fight versus Santos, Leonardo dos Santos, oh my goodness, the pounding he took. Any other ref calls that fight and that fight's over. That was a crazy one. He just ate all those shots and tired the guy out. He rope-a-doped him. Unbelievable, that fight. Go back and watch that one. All right, but Tom, does Grant Dawson got enough for the wrestling prowess of Mark Madsen?
Man, this is a heck of a matchup, man. Grant 28, Mark 38. But the thing is, Grant, both these guys haven't lost much. Madsen's never lost, and Grant has only lost once. And his only loss was 11 fights ago, and it was in 2016. So both these guys, this guy hasn't seen a loss in what, 6 years? And the other guy's just never seen a loss. The thing is, Madsen's got the crazy Olympic wrestling pedigree, may have the most decorated pedigree currently active in the UFC. I don't know if anybody has like a silver medal in the Olympic Games that's still active.
Right.
You had guys like,
Henry Cejudo.
Henry Cejudo, yes. But he's not active right now. Of active fighters, this guy might have the deepest pedigree if you check out his wrestling just history, even outside the Olympics, national events and things. I want to lean towards Grant because it's going to be Grant's going to try to get a sub here as well. I think Grant might try to move to the sub, but they kind of might nullify each other with, the strong wrestling versus this guy trying to get him a sub. I want to lean towards Grant by sub round 3, but that may not happen, man. This might go to a close decision, but I'm going to go with Grant Dawson, maybe a third round sub or a close decision victory.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think if Madsen was just a few years younger, I would take him for the upset in this fight. Just wrestle, lay on top of him. I think Grant has a serious cardio advantage here, and he should be able to get the job done. I don't think this would be a pretty fight, but I think Madsen he's a much better wrestler, but he doesn't have the gas tank potentially to go 3 rounds with a young, strong guy like this. That's my only concern, because I think Madsen can steal rounds, just get on top, stay on top, and not even go for the finish per se, just literally steal the round. But I don't know if he can do that for 3 rounds. I think Dawson's got better power. He's younger. He's probably stronger at this point in his life. He's coming right into his prime at 28 years old. He switched camps. So he looked great in his last fight switching camps, which is good. He's learning new skills and new traits and working with all new guys, really helping him. I think he's going to come in pretty ready for this one. I hope he doesn't look past Mark Madsen being 38 years old, though, because Madsen has some serious skills in there. The problem is...
I mean, he could end up Randy Couture.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is he could steal rounds on you. But I agree. I think Dawson gets the win. I think he gets it by decision. He hasn't looked overly impressive in a few of his fights. I mean, he was losing a couple fights, and then he had, what did he get, the knockout with 4 seconds left a few fights ago? It was crazy. He was probably losing 3 rounds to 0 there. But that being said, card market goes. Dawson is worth a speculation buy with this kind of record, this kind of age. Knows he has to switch camps and keeps everything fresh. He's recently printed, recently priced. I think Dawson is worth a little speculation buy. Madsen, I don't know if we'll see him printed. I doubt it. We can evaluate when he is printed, though. All right, last fight we're covering here. There's a few other decent fights here. But we got...
I mean, you got to print him if he wins. He's going to be 13-0.
Yeah, but he's got, 3 in the UFC or whatever. It's not crazy.
I mean, but you're knocking off some names,
Well,
though.
if you beat Grant Dawson, they'll probably make an instant of him right away. All right, bantamweights. Mario Batista minus 285. Favorite here, 29 years old, 10-2, and he last beat Brian Kelleher and Jay Perrin. He's going up against scrappy Benito Lopez, plus 240, underdog, age 28. He's 10-1, and he last beat Vince Morales. Actually, I think Morales is lined up for a fight next week. I just saw him posted. I thought he was cut. I think he's back, though. But besides the point. Tom, how do you see this one going?
Well, you know who's back again for like the 3rd time?
Chase Sherman. We're not going to cover Chase Sherman. That guy.
No, we didn't cover Chase, but props to him, man. He keeps coming back. He's like a substitute teacher. They just keep bringing him back.
He might get a win. He might get a win. He's going up against one of the other worst guys in the heavyweight division. He might get a win.
Hey, with those big dudes, they might get a win because someone could get slept. But this is Mario 29, Benito 28. The thing about Benito is he's only 28, but the thing that kind of catches my eye is he hasn't fought in over 3 years.
Right.
His last fight was in 2019. So we'll see what happened during that whole layoff. During that layoff, Batista has fought 4 times. So he's much more ring ready. He's been staying active. You learn a lot from those fights, win or lose. There's a lot of education taking place, and people keep getting better. That's really where I see the differential here. Benito could come out and surprise everyone, though, because it's been such a gap. You haven't seen him. So who knows what he's done? Both these guys can go the distance. Both can finish by strikes. Both can finish by sub. It's a well-rounded fighters on both sides. But I got to lean towards Batista by sub, round 1 or 2, or a decision. Right. I'm going with Batista
I think
here.
Batista should win here. But here's the big question. As you mentioned, Benito hasn't fought. So has Benito really advanced his career with all that time on the sidelines? That's, we're talking a 28-year-old guy here. We're not talking an old man. 25 to 28, this kid could have went leaps and bounds so much better. We just don't know. He's so young.
He might still be with Team Alpha.
But where
sure.
are his skills at right now? Are they the same? Are they double as good? Is his wrestling now 10 times better? Has he been working from, to a black belt in karate?
Is he totally healthy? Maybe he was injured.
We don't know. So
healthy.
I just think Batista's just a little better everywhere. I think he's going to edge out a decision in this one because I don't think you finish Lopez. That guy is scrappy. That guy's got a good chin. It's a good fight. We got to really see that 3-year gap from 25 to 28 years old is just it's too big. You don't know what he did with that time unless you're really in his corner. That's the big problem I have here. Otherwise, I would like to see a little upset, but I'm rolling Batista. I think he gets it done. I think he edges him out. I'm not buying either of these guys right now. We got plenty of time on them. We'll put a little hold and wait. We'll reevaluate them next time. There's a few other good fights on this card, though. We're not going to go over the whole card. But I really like Miranda Maverick to get the win here over Shanna Young. And if she doesn't, look out. She tumbles all the way down. She's no longer... This girl was supposed to be a prospect. She had a few bad losses. One of them, I thought she clearly won, though. But I'm just saying, that's a fight to look out for. Miranda Maverick gets the win. She's going to be back on the radar. If she gets the loss, who knows? She could get cut. That's a horrible loss to have. My girl Polyana Viana's fighting again. I know Tommy likes...
And, dude, on the Poly fight, I like Poly and Jinyu. Right. I like them both, and I like the matchup because both of them really aren't, title contenders. But they both are fun fighters, and I think that this is a good matchup here, to really kind of put them to the test.
It's good. Jinyu's getting a little older now. They should have made the atomweight division, like I said a long time ago. I don't know why the UFC is their best, 115 for the women. Why is there not a 105? They can't get 125. Valentina just dominates everyone. 135 and 145. I mean, they've cut 145. They go back to it. They put the featherweight back. Amanda wins. Then they have no one else to fight her. Then she goes back down to bantamweight. They have one girl, Juliana, right? I mean, let's not take away Juliana, but then there's nobody else. They're not bringing in new blood into the women's. Why don't they have an atomweight? There's some top-tier atomweights around the world waiting to get in there. I mean, they have Invicta FC with some top-tier girls fighting atomweight, but you got ONE FC, atomweights look great. It's such a good division. I don't know why they didn't do it. Jinyu Fry was a champion at the atomweights in Invicta. They should have done it a while ago. I just wanted to touch on that, though, because I do like to watch Polly. I do like to watch Jinyu Fry. And I do like
I do too.
Derek Minner.
Miranda.
I like Derek Minner.
Oh, Derek Minner's fun.
I like this guy. He's getting a little older now. Lerner Bekov should be good. Chinese prospect, but hasn't panned out to be nearly as good as they thought he was going to be. Good one. Wanted to just touch on those. All right.
Yo, shout out to, and even though a lot of people hate on him and they take any chance to hate on him, but I got to give him props, man. Respect once a little gained more and more each time. a level of respect here. Shout out to Jake Paul on getting that win against Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva.
That was so.
Anderson,
Dude, he didn't even hit him and he fell down. That thing's so rigged. So rigged.
Anderson Silva. I don't think Anderson Silva rigged it. I think Jake earned it, and Anderson. I think Anderson is a legitimate, boxer, man. He's not like Floyd Mayweather, but that was a lot of people picked Anderson, and as soon as it's over, of course, they all flip and act like, oh, you didn't fight anybody. No way, man. That was a tough test.
Still a
Props
47-year-old, but it still looked.
Jake went from YouTube to this. It's amazing. I give him props, man.
You give him props. I hate the dude. I'm not supporting him. But that's all we got for the show today. We'll catch you guys on the next episode.